that because I don't have another video. Well, I did have a video, but it's private. But welcome to my channel. I'm gonna talk about my BBL that I got. And yeah, because I get a lot of DMs from females asking if I got my body done, where I went, who's my doctor, all that stuff. So I wrote down a list of questions that I'm going to answer that I get. Well, I'm just going to tell you my whole experience. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have a list of questions so I don't get sidetracked. So the first question is, what was the procedure that you had? The procedure I had was a 360 lipo and a BBL, which, if you don't know, a BBL is a Brazilian butt lift. The next question is, when did you have your surgery? I had my surgery, actually I don't remember. I believe my surgery was on the 24th. I'm not sure. I think, okay, so I think I had my surgery on a Monday, the 24th of June 2019. Yeah, I believe, yeah, because I got there on a Sunday, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I believe it was the 23rd. Okay, it was something like that. So it was in June, like the end of June of 2019. It said, where did you go to get your BBL? So I went to Mia Aesthetics, which is in Miami. At the time they only had the Miami location, I believe. Now they have multiple locations. Who was your doctor? My doctor was Ray Charepoo, who is amazing, by the way. How much was their surgery? Child, let me pull up the email. So at the time, I'm gonna guess because I don't really remember, because at the time when I had booked my surgery, it was like months and months ago. It wasn't like right away. So when I had booked my surgery at the time, Mia Aesthetics was having a special. It was called the Damn Gina special, and it came with a BBL pillow, your massages, and what else did it come with? It came with your massages, your BBL pillow, and a recovery house. So it gave you a list of recovery houses and everything, and that was all included into my total package. So the package, the Damn Gina package, was about, with Charepoo, it was about $4,000 something dollars, I believe. Don't quote me, but it was around like $4,000 something dollars for that package around that time with Charepoo. Other doctors were different prices, but I went with Charepoo, and that was his price for that package. So I can get that pricing up until a year, and then after a year I would have to start all over again. So basically I would have to use that package price and have my surgery within a year. They do have a payment plan. You don't have to pay for surgery all up front. You can pay up until your surgery, the day before your surgery. I know a lot of people ask if they have like a payment plan. They also accept credit too, I believe. But you gotta fill that out, and it's a different price for credit. I think it's higher if you use credit. And let's see, so for me, I ended up changing my date, and when I changed my date, it was like, I believe $500 for me to change my date, which is ridiculous in my opinion. It was $500 just to change the date to a later date. Let's see. So yeah, so I changed my date because I was scared. I was supposed to go with my friend. She went before me. I believe she went in April, and I'm like, okay, I'm really petite, so I'm like, okay, she's petite too, let me see how she looks when she comes back, because I was feeling like, okay, I feel like I don't have enough fat and I'm not gonna get the results I wanted. So I was like, okay, let's just see how she looks when she comes back. And when she came back, she looked snatched. Well, she showed me the pictures like while she was there and everything, but she came back and she looked really good. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to go get the surgery. I had got the money in like within a month, and I ended up going in June. Let's see, I told you guys about the payment plan, the change in date fees. They do have that. I think you have to also pay $500 if you want to change your doctor as well. So yeah, but I didn't do that, but I know it's a fee for that as well. Let me see. Oh, also I forgot to mention, when you book your appointment and book your date and you had your consultation, my consultation was virtual, so all I had to do was send in pictures. You just have to pose different ways and they evaluate to see if you are a good candidate. And you also have to plug in your information like your height, your weight, and all that type of stuff. So yeah. Then as far as communication, because a lot of people say this too, they ask me this too, they say, oh, they're not communicating. So communication with them when I was talking with them was perfectly fine. Since I went though, they've gotten bigger obviously, so I guess the communication isn't that great. But when I went 2 years ago, not 2 years ago, in 2019, it hasn't been 2 years yet, but like a year and a half. So when I went, it was their communication was on point. Like as soon as I sent the information for my consultation, they emailed me back like that. They emailed me the prices. Oh my gosh, my neighbor is so loud. I'm sorry if y'all hear that, but she's super loud and it's annoying and I hate her. Anyways, so what was I saying? What was I saying? Communication. So yeah, so the communication was by email. Well, no, they did call me, and then they started emailing me different questions like, what's your height, what's your weight, do you smoke, do you drink, do you do any type of substances, do you have any diseases, do you have, like, just a whole bunch of questions, like your medical history, surgeries, you had previous surgeries, just a whole bunch of questions. And they also say you have to be a certain BMI. I believe the highest your BMI could be is like a 32 or a 34. Oh my god, what is the problem? It's like she stomps. I'm not you recovery house information. So if you could pick any recovery house they recommend, and I'll get into the recovery house I stayed in later in the video. So yeah, their communication when I was talking to them was on point, up until it was time for my surgery. So when I had my virtual consultation, they emailed me back. Of course, they go to the doctor, show the doctor, see if I'm a good candidate for a BBL 360 lipo, or if I would need a tummy tuck or anything like that. But I'm petite, like I said. I haven't had kids or anything like that, so I don't have any extra skin or anything, so I didn't need a tummy tuck. I just did the lipo. So when they contacted me, I was around, how much was I was like around 120. I'm 5'4". So I was thinking, like, when they contacted me back, that they were gonna say, oh, you have to gain weight for surgery because we're not gonna have enough fat to put anywhere. So they never told me I had to gain weight. I just gained weight on my own because I'm like, okay, I want the good results. I don't want to go there and I get a little bit of fat in my butt and I lose it. So I started gaining weight. I was eating around 3,500 calories a day. So by the time it was time for my surgery, I was around 142. I didn't get to 145. Well, I think I did hit 145-ish, but I feel like when I was in Miami, touched down, like almost time for surgery, I was around 142. I don't think I was 145. So I gained weight before surgery. You don't have to. I'm just not sure how your results will be. Of course, if you're shorter, taller, it varies by the person what your BMI was. I feel like mine was like 24, 23 or 24. So how you calculate your BMI, you can Google it. It's just your height and your weight. It's a calculator. It's your height and your weight, and you just enter that in there, and it tells you your BMI. Let's see. So I would touch on labs. So when I was getting my BBL, I had a booty Instagram. So a booty Instagram is where you follow nothing but people that's getting their body done or has already gotten their body done. So they're post-op. Yeah, post-op, not pre-op. So basically, on mine, I followed a lot of people, of course, that had, it was basically a surgery page, and a lot of people will post things like about labs, and a lot of people wouldn't post their labs. So I'm going to give you guys the information on what to expect, because if your doctor doesn't clear you for surgery, and I mean your PCP, your primary care provider, if they don't clear you for surgery, you're not having surgery. And that's why people are so concerned when it comes to lab work. So they want to make sure they pass their labs. They're trying to see what they can do before they have to you know, take tests, take blood tests, do all this stuff. They just want to make sure they pass, or they can get to a point where they will pass their lab. So for my labs, I feel like big concerns is your hemoglobin, because if you have a low hemoglobin, you have to pay $500 extra for a cell saver. If your hemoglobin is low, they're not going to clear you for surgery, because that's a risk, you know what I mean? So if you have a low hemoglobin, you need to pay $500. Some doctors there that are at Me Aesthetics don't even do cell savers. They just are going to deny you for surgery. They're not going to do your surgery if your hemoglobin is too low. Another thing is people want to know about smoking and alcohol drinking. I believe we have to stop smoking 30 days before surgery. Drinking as well, I think, is 30 days before surgery. Of course, certain places are different. Different places are have different time frames. So for Me Aesthetics, I believe smoking was a month. You have to stop smoking a month before surgery. Well, 30 days before surgery, or you had to stop drinking, I believe 30 days as well, before surgery. Let me see. And smoking, that means cigarettes, that means marijuana, weed, that means all that. So yeah, that's, what else is a concern? Really, it's just the hemoglobin. Everything else, honestly, everybody's scared of their labs and stuff, and scared they're gonna fail, not get approved for surgery, not get cleared for surgery from their doctor. But and your doctor actually has to like have a written like letter, and they send it directly to Me Aesthetics saying, okay, they're cleared for surgery, they can have the BBL or whatever, breast, whatever. So yeah. But as far as your labs, like, girl, if you have asthma, you have to do some type of breathing test. But other conditions and everything, I'm not sure of. I just know about the asthma because she told me, and she was going to the same place. So yeah, so that's about the labs. But other than that, if you don't have any underlying health conditions and your hemoglobin is on point, you'll be cleared. Just don't stress about labs. And if your hemoglobin is low, just go ahead and save $500 for the Cell Saver. If you can't freaking save $500, sis, you don't need to be getting surgery. Period. Okay, so let's see. So next I'm going to talk about the recovery house I stayed at. I'm not going to talk about the recovery house because I'll actually do that later in the video. But I would just want to tell you what recovery house I stayed at or ended up picking. I ended up picking EOS, I believe it's called, recovery house. Amazing. That's the recovery house I picked from the list, and I ended up following them on Instagram. Well, I looked at all the recovery houses on Instagram, and that's how I ended up picking EOS. My next question is, hold on one second. So my next question is, so the day, so I got to Miami on a Sunday. On a Sunday, usually the day you get there you have your pre-op appointment, but for me aesthetics, at least when I went, they didn't have pre-op appointments on Sundays. They didn't do surgeries, I believe, on Sundays. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't know if they do surgeries on Sundays, but I know for sure they don't do pre-op appointments on Sundays. So I got there on a Sunday, so I did not get picked up with my recovery house. So when you have your recovery house, they, in the package, they have the option to get you from the airport. I did not opt into that option because I got there on a Sunday. They don't get you on Sundays. 2, I was flying into Fort Lauderdale. I was not flying into Miami. Because I booked my surgery so late, so close to the date. Of course, first of all, going to Miami from New York, I'm from New York, is expensive. So I didn't do that ahead of time. So when I booked my appointment, booked my flight, it was last minute, and I live in New York, and then Miami is where Miami is, and it cost me around like $400 or $500 for a flight to Miami. So when I total my whole like expenses, I would say I paid around $6,000 for everything, everything including my flight and the change in date and all that stuff. So when I got to Miami, I also went with my sister because, yeah, I didn't want to go by myself. So my sister came with me, and we got there, and I wasn't supposed to check in until around 3 o'clock. So we went to my sister's hotel, and while we were there, we were on the Strip in Miami, and we just chilled, ate. Yeah, we chilled, ate, and until it was time for me to go to my recovery house. So check-in for me was 3 o'clock or 3:30, I'm not 100% sure. I had to stop drinking after a certain time. I believe after 3 or 4 o'clock, maybe 5. You couldn't drink, you couldn't eat, nothing until it was time for you to get, like, after surgery. That's, yeah. And they called me, they told me what time to be there, which location, because they have 2 Mia locations in Miami, and they told me which one to go to, what time, and they told me not to wear any jewelry, of course, no makeup, no nails, no lashes. At least when I went, they told me no lashes, but I heard now that you can have lash extensions and nail, I don't know if they can have nails now, but when I went, we couldn't have nails, we couldn't have nail polish, lash extensions, jewelry, anything like that. So when I went, girl, I went with braids and that's it. No lashes, no nothing. So I went to bed. The next day was pre-op. So since I had my my surgery on a Monday, like I said, on Sunday they don't do pre-ops, because usually if you go the day before is your pre-op appointment and then you go to surgery the next day. But for me, since I had it on a Monday, it was pre-op and surgery the same day. So I got there. When I went in, let me make sure I'm on track though, I'm not skipping nothing before I start. Okay, so yeah, day of surgery. So hopefully you guys don't hear that in the background. I live in a complex and they're plowing the snow, so hopefully you don't hear that. Anyways, okay, so yeah, day of surgery. I went there for my pre-op, and my recovery house took me to my pre-op appointment. So I didn't have to get an Uber. The only time I had to get an Uber was to get to the recovery house and to leave the recovery house to go to the airport. But other than that, yeah, they took me to my pre-op appointment. Excuse me, sorry. They took me to my pre-op appointment and it was about like 30-45 minutes away. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it was a long time, and I think like a long time to get there, and I think it was a long time just because of traffic in Miami. It's ridiculous. So I got to Me Aesthetics. As soon as I got there, I went in, checked in. They gave me some paperwork to fill out, which is basically the same information almost as when they first send you your first email and they ask you mad questions. So it's the same thing. I sat there for like, it seems like an hour. My sister finally got there because she I gave her the information for the address for Me Aesthetics for her to wait for me, and she went to my recovery house. I sent her 2 addresses and she went to my recovery house, and I literally said recovery house address and surgery address, like surgery place, Me Aesthetic. She went to the recovery anyways, child. So it took her mad long to come. By the time she finally came, which was like 10 minutes, they had called me 10 minutes before she came. So I got back there. She's waiting in the waiting room. She waited the whole time in the waiting room for me to come out of surgery. So she waited. I went back there. As soon as I went back there, they came in. They told me to change into a gown. I changed into a gown. Then someone came in to basically take before pictures and to size me for my faja. So a faja is basically what you wear after you're done with your surgery, and this is your surgery faja. So what I mean by surgery faja is this faja is looser than what your second stage faja is. So this is basically your first stage faja, and they measure you for that. So she came in, measured me for that. She took, I believe they took my height, my weight. I also took a pregnancy test, so I peed in a cup. They did that. Everything came back good. I believe they took blood. I'm not 100% sure. But after all of that, they put me on a drip to hydrate me, because like I said, you can't drink or eat until after surgery, basically. So to tell you to stop eating and drinking, and they put me on a drip so they could hydrate me. So then the anesthesiologist came in. This is the person who puts you to sleep, basically. And he just asked a couple questions like, oh, have you ever had surgery before? Have you ever been under anesthesia? Any type of anesthesia, like if you got your tooth, something was wrong with your tooth, or had your wisdom teeth pulled or something like that. I was like, no. And he just told me what to expect, because I never had surgery or anything like that before. And I don't mean cosmetic, I mean surgery, period. So he told me basically what to expect when I get on the table. And he's like, you're probably not even gonna remember, falling asleep, blah blah blah. So he came in, he left, he explained basically what's going on. He was really cool, really nice. Everybody was really nice there. So next who came in is Dr. Charepoo, fine self. He's fine. I just want y'all to know he's fine. So he came in, he's like, oh my gosh, you're so tiny. And he came in to basically mark me up. I told him what I wanted. I told him I didn't want to look like a bug. I wanted everything to match. I wanted everything to be proportioned to my shape already, because I'm petite. So I didn't want to look like an ant, a bug. I didn't want to look crazy basically. And so he was marking me up. He was telling me some of the fat in my stomach he couldn't use. So he was still gonna take it out, but he wouldn't be able to use it in my butt or my hips. So basically he marked me up. He asked what my BMI was. Like I said, he asked what I wanted. And I told him I don't want a shelf booty. If you don't know what a shelf booty is, it's basically, this is you, and then the booty comes out like this and then goes like that. Or if like what type of, you know. And I told him I wanted a slope booty because I didn't want a shelf, because I didn't want to look like an ant. I don't know. So I told him I wanted a slope booty, which is kind of like an upside down heart or a teardrop shape. So more of a cuff. I don't know. I didn't want a shelf because I didn't know how I would look with it. So that's what I told him I wanted. He was asking if I was like an athlete because I had abs, or if I was like a cheerleader or something when I was in school. And I was just like, child, no. He's like, do you work out? I'm like, so he's like, oh, because it looks like you already have like abs formed, so when your stomach gets flat, it's gonna look really nice because you already have like abs naturally. So I was like, oh, okay. So he marked me up. He did all of that and he left, and then I sat there for a while again, for actually probably like an hour and a half. So I sat there for like an hour, like 30 minutes more, and then they came and got me, walked me to the surgery room, which I kind of don't remember. I just feel like it was bright, like a big light. We went to the surgery room. I laid down. They switched my drip, the water to, and then they plugged it in for the anesthesia, I believe. I think that's how they did. I don't really remember. So they switched my IV, basically the tube, and then he's like, the anesthesiologist is sitting by me like in a chair, and he's like, okay, we're gonna count down from like 20 or 10 or whatever. So I started counting, and I swear I said like 10 and I was knocked out. Like, I don't remember. The next thing I remember was waking up like, hey, you got your body done, like you made it, sis. So so next I woke up. When I woke up, I was in a different room. I don't know where I was. I don't kind of remember, but it was like a whole bunch of curtains surrounding me. So I woke up confused, like, why am I on my butt when I woke up? Whatever, that ain't none of my business. But I feel like when I woke up, I couldn't really breathe or catch my breath, even though I had an oxygen mask on me. But as soon as they took the oxygen mask off, like, I could breathe. I don't know. Anyways, somebody finally came in. I don't even know who they were. She came in. She's like, oh, the social media team wants to talk to you. The social media team? Sis, just get me off my butt. You talk about the social media team. So she's like, the social media team wants to talk to you. Can they come in real quick? I say, yeah, cool. So they come in. They're talking about, oh, can we use your picture? Your body looks really nice. Can we use your pictures on our Instagram page? Did I say no or did I say yes? See, I don't even remember. Like, I don't even remember. Like, why are you even talking to me after I just got up from anesthesia? So they finally came in. I told them whatever I told them. I don't know if I said yes or if I said no. So the nurse or whoever it is, they came and got me. They put me in a wheelchair. in the recovery house came to pick me up. My sister was there too, waiting for me. So as soon as they opened the doors, my sister was right there. Oh, when I woke up, I didn't really feel anything. Like, I didn't feel pain or anything like that. Like when I woke up, like I was sitting on my butt, I didn't feel like any pain or anything like that. So we're going to the recovery house. They put me in the van. It's a big van, and they have the seats down in the back. So it was me and another girl in the back, laying on our stomachs, and that's how we rode back to the recovery house. Riding back, that was probably the worst. I feel like I felt super nauseous, which I heard is common when you have anesthesia. You feel nauseous after when you wake up. So I was feeling super nauseous. I really thought I was gonna throw up in the back of the van. So we finally got to the recovery house. They walk us in. They have people waiting to walk us in the recovery house. I believe it was an RN. The RN brought us to our rooms. I shared a room with another person, and the rooms were really nice. The whole recovery house was really nice. It was a newer recovery house. I got there, I laid down. My sister was with me. She couldn't stay the whole time because it's they could only visit for like an hour, I believe. And she sat there for an hour. I'm just like, okay, I need something for my nausea. So what they gave me, I think it was either Gatorade or Pedialyte or something like that to help with my nausea. And while that was happening, I'm also asking for my pills. So they were picking up my prescription, just set me up to where I'm comfortable basically. And I was just laying there kind of out of it because of course I just woke up from surgery, still nauseous. The Pedialyte did help a little bit, but I just feel like it was honestly just the anesthesia just had to wear off. It eventually did. I feel like after a couple of hours, then I just went to sleep until I got my prescription. The prescription that they got were IRCs. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but I don't know how YouTube is about saying drug names or whatever. So IRCs, I'm gonna say they gave me that. I'm gonna say Percocet, you know, like the Future song, Percocet. Okay, anyway, so yeah, they gave me that. They gave me like the lowest dosage. It was like 5s, and honestly they did nothing for me. I feel like extra strength Tylenol did more than the IRCs. So I took all my IRCs, but after that I really wanted just the Tylenol, honestly. So I did that. That was the medication I was on, was the IRCs. They gave me 5s. I think it's different other places because I started talking to this girl when I was at the airport. She had just got her body done too, but she was she didn't go to Mia. So where she went, they offered her 10s and for the IRCs. So she said that helped more than Tylenol, and I'm like, oh, they gave me 5, so it was like nothing. Even though I wasn't in pain or anything, it was just more uncomfortable. I was never in pain, just uncomfortable. Let me see what else. Okay, I had to restart my camera. I'm sorry, y'all. This is a long video, but I'm trying to get all the information out because I feel like when I was looking it up, first of all, I couldn't even find my doctor. Like when I was looking everything up on YouTube, I couldn't find my doctor. A lot of people was going to Dr. Alvarez, so I would see a lot of like knee aesthetic stories, but it wouldn't be about Charepoo. It would be about Dr. Alvarez. So let's see. So I would say sleeping. So when I was sleeping, that was probably the most uncomfortable thing, or painful. Even though it wasn't painful, it was more uncomfortable than painful. That was more uncomfortable, unbearable. The first 2 nights, I feel like it was like just uncomfortable. You can't lay on your side, you can't lay on your butt, of course. And I am a stomach sleeper, so coming from a stomach sleeper and I have to like sleep on my stomach, you would think like, oh, piece of cake. No, I slept on my stomach for you know, for a while, and I was even like, okay, like something has to give. I was barely getting any sleep at night, really, because it was just so uncomfortable. You could only sleep one way, and yeah, I mean, I tried to make it work with like pillows and everything, but it always felt like I was laying on my butt or laying on my side, so I always just ended up going back on my stomach. So sleeping isn't the best, honestly. You probably won't get that much sleep. Yeah, it wasn't great for me, honestly. Yeah, so let's see. The next thing is using the bathroom. So a lot of people wonder, how do we use the bathroom? So especially with our fajas on, which is like, the faja is the worst. I swear, if you gotta poop and hurry up and taking off your faja is like, this is a joke. This is a joke, honestly. Like, it's too much. But the faja is the worst part of surgery, I feel like. It's annoying, but it's essential if you want to snatch waist and a big booty. Keep that faja on. Like, that's important, to have a snatch waist. So basically, my first time using the bathroom, as far as peeing, the faja has a hole where you can pee easily. Honestly, for me, I would roll up a towel and put it on the edge of the seat, of the toilet seat, and I would do it that way, or I would just squat. After a while, I just started squatting, because at first you don't really have your balance, but like a couple days later, I just squat on the toilet. Like, I would squat and just pee. But as far as pooping, I always had the towel, because I just feel like I don't want to squat and poop. Like, what if I poop on the toilet rim or something like that? Like, no. So you just roll up a towel, and then you put it at the edge, and so it's just, you're sitting on your hips and not your butt. So using the bathroom, I feel like it just depends on the person. If you want to bring stool softeners, bring stool softeners, so it could come out easier. But for me, it wasn't a problem. Nothing hurt. It wasn't any pressure or anything like that. So I don't know, I'm not. As far as massages, my package came with 3 free massages, which are the worst. When I had my massages at Mia, I feel like they were horrible. Like, it hurt so bad. Like, I passed out twice. The first time I had my massage, and my second time I had my massage, I passed out both times. And it's so bad. It's, of course, they're draining out the fluids, because you don't get drains at Mia Aesthetics. They don't give you drains. So they are manually pushing on your stomach that you just had surgery on. Mind you, your stomach is so tender. So it's like, any little touch is like weird, and it hurts. That's the only type of pain you'll have, is if somebody's pulling at your skin on your stomach. That's the only type of pain. But you literally have to be like pushing on somebody. Somebody has to be pushing on your stomach for it to be painful. It's not just straight pain. At least for me, it wasn't. But yeah, massages were horrible. Would not recommend. Not just kidding. But when I got back home, my massages wasn't like that, because you do have to keep up with massages after you get your surgery, which is another expense. Massages can range, I would say get a package. Honestly, it's cheaper that way if you have the massages in your area. Hopefully you do. So next, I want to talk about my recovery house. My recovery house was EOS, like I said. The recovery house was amazing. It was very clean. If you needed anything changed on your bed or anything like that, you would just call them, or it's like a button, and they come in your room and they change your sheets, change your pads, change whatever you need. Or if you just need anything, they were there. My recovery house had a RN 24/7. Yeah, like, they were amazing. Then they had people that just cook, and they had people that clean. They had people, just. But I went with that one because they also had a, like I said, 24-hour nurse there, and some of the recovery houses didn't have that. It's just regular people running the recovery house, basically. They would wake me up in the middle of the night, basically, when it was time for me to take my medicine. And when it was time for me to walk around. They will always come get you to come walk around, because if you lay too long, then you get blood clots. You can get blood clots. So they always try to get you up and walking, and that helps your recovery a little faster. Walking really took a lot out of me, and I will only walk for about 5 minutes around the recovery house and be like out of it, you know. So that did take a lot out of me. Of course, you know, it gets better, but I just feel like that was a lot. So let's see, recovery house. So like I said, the recovery house, they cook everything for you. They give you an option of just seafood, or if you're like a vegetarian or anything like that, they try and cook your meals to your liking. For me, I didn't really care, so I just had the regular package. I wasn't allergic to anything or anything like that. The meals that they actually cooked weren't too bad. It wasn't nasty or anything. Showers were cool. I feel like I almost passed out for my first shower when I was first able to shower. I feel like it was a day later I was able to shower. My first shower, I almost passed out because it was just super hot in the bathroom while they were, of course you have assistants for your first shower, and it was just, the heat was just getting to me. Very steamy, very humid. So all of that, and then you're trying to clean yourself, and it's tender, and like it's just a lot, and I almost passed out in the shower, my first shower. But other than that, the showers weren't too bad. Last day I also see my doctor so I can get clearance to go home, because you do need clearance before you can get back on a flight, or even if you're just, you know, dry, whatever, like you need medical clearance to leave or travel or anything like that. And your last day, your doctor comes and talks to you, looks at you, make sure everything is looking good, everything is healing correctly. Then at the end, they give you paperwork for work, like notes saying that you have to be off a certain amount of days. Of course, it's different. Like I said, every recovery house is different. Not recovery house, every surgery center is different. For how long they say you have to be out. They give you paperwork on what not to do, lifting, swimming, being in direct sunlight, all that jazz. They give you a whole pamphlet and everything. I said a doctor's note for when you're out. For me, I was out around 3 weeks. I was out of work. I could have went back 2 weeks, but I just took that extra week because I'm just like, child, when it's time for me to go back, it's time for me to go back. When I went back to work, I did have a boppy pillow. I never used my BBL pillow because it was too hard that they gave me. I used a boppy pillow that you can get from Target, Walmart, wherever, which is just a baby, like a cushion. And I would just sit on that. Even when I was at the recovery house, I got that like the second day I got there. When I went to work, I carried my boppy around. I did not care. People are snickering like, oh, she got her body done. Honey, it wasn't a secret. Like, yeah, I got my body done. And so yeah, so I went back to work. Let me see, that was my last day. Yeah, so my flight going home was horrible. Like I said, I live in New York, so Miami is kind of far, and I had a layover. I was kind of happy I had a layover because just being on a flight for that long is just tiring. And yeah, like, and I was like in the middle of people, like it was just weird. So my flight was kind of my layover was like 2 hours, but I got wheelchair service. Like, I was able to board before everybody, all that stuff. So yeah, I got home and I flew into Buffalo, New York. I don't know if anybody knows where that is, but it was cheaper for me to fly out of Buffalo and come into Buffalo instead of Rochester. I live in Rochester, New York. It was just cheaper. So my friend came and got me from the airport, and she took me home. That ride was horrible. I felt really nauseous, and I felt like I was gonna fall over in the back seat. Like, it was a lot. And Buffalo is about an hour away from Rochester, so that was kind of a journey. But she took me to my house. My brother was there too. I stayed with my mom at the time while I got my surgery, so she was taking care of me basically. So after that, recovery just went up from there. I feel like I just got really tired of laying on my stomach, really. I was able to walk around, fix my own food, all that stuff. How much did I weigh after surgery? So after surgery, I weighed about 130-ish, like 135. Like I said, I was like 142 when I got there. So I lost a lot of weight, of course, because he even said like he wasn't going to use some of my fat because it wasn't usable, or sometimes it was a different type of fat that you can't use to put in your butt. I don't know what he was trying to say, but yeah. So wrote in my notes, if you're petite and you have this surgery, you have to keep up with eating that way, in a healthier way, obviously. But you have to keep up with that calorie intake. If you're naturally petite, you have to keep eating, because of course in a healthier way, but you have to keep eating to keep that fat in the butt area. For me, I feel like I lose mine a lot because sometimes I just be too lazy to cook, and when I'm too lazy, I eat like small little fast quick meals. But when I'm eating regular, like, my butt looks nice. Yeah, so you have to keep eating like that after surgery and going to the gym. So I do not go to the gym. I should start going to the gym, but I do not. Especially to keep it up. It'll definitely help your results too. It'll look really nice. Let's see, kilos, I already did that. How long it took for. So my measurements after was like, my butt was butt/hip ratio was like a 40 inches. My stomach was like 26 inches. Well, my waist was 26 inches, and I kept my thigh high on forever. Honestly, I only took it off to like go out, and I don't really go out like that, but I did go out like once or twice after I got my body done. Very ghetto. It's very ghetto in Rochester, honestly. And after I went out that one night, I was just like, never again. So yeah, I only go out when I go out of town. Anywho, so yeah, you have to keep your faja on for a while, which is annoying because it's very itchy, very sweaty. I had 2 fajas. When one was in the washer, I had the other one on. You'll lose your butt, like lose fat in your butt, period. You're gonna lose, like, I think they say 35-25% of your fat, I'm not sure, in your butt. You're gonna lose. So that's why you have to keep eating, even like healthy. I don't eat healthy, I'm sorry, I really try, but I just don't, and I can't. I don't try. What am I talking about? I don't even try to eat healthy. I just like my greasy, nasty, unhealthy food. I like that. So yeah, what did I even say that for? Oh yeah, so you got to keep your weight up basically, because you're gonna lose your fat. And I did lose my fat. I could tell my butt got smaller. And then at 3 months, everybody asked me, when does your butt get soft? So I would say 3 months. It's like 2.5, 3 months. 2.5, it starts getting soft. 3 months, it's getting soft. And then from, you know, it just gets softer then, you know, throughout or whatever. And I just think when your butt gets soft, because at first my butt was sitting high, and then once it got soft, it dropped to like a teardrop shape, the way I wanted my butt to look. It dropped a lot. I feel like it looks cute. I feel like I want a round 2, but I'm trying to wait till after I have a child, and I'm only gonna have 1, and after that child, if I still want my BBL, if I still want my round 2, then yeah, that's when I'll get it. But honestly, if you just gain weight or like eat more, your butt will get bigger. It all goes to your butt, at least for me, especially when you're petite and your stomach was already flat before, or if you were just naturally petite, all the food is gonna go to your butt, your face, but to your butt. It's not gonna go back to your stomach. It could, like if you're really ODing, like eating crazy, but yeah. Oh, not scars, but like bruise. I didn't have any bruises like when I was in Miami. I feel like I started bruising a couple weeks later, which is weird to me. I started bruising a couple weeks later. They were like big bruises, like purple. You could really see the bruises. It was like super purple on my butt, on my stomach area, on my thighs, like where my hips were, all of that. When did I start to feel normal again? I didn't start to feel normal again till like, I feel like a month. Like fully normal, like I feel like it was a month for me. Like I'm talking about the day from surgery to when I started feeling better. That whole time period, a month, I started feeling normal again. Everybody's favorite question, honey. Are you happy with your results? Oh, my freaking battery's about to die. Are you happy with your results? I am happy. I kind of want my boobs done. Right now I have on a push-up bra, but I feel like without a bra my boobs are really flat. I am like a A cup, maybe not an A cup, but like a B cup. I said an A cup, like a B cup. I don't know, but I'm super flat without a bra. But as far as am I happy with my results, I feel like I am. I feel like I said I want a round 2 just to have more of a shelf booty instead of a droop, like a teardrop booty, heart-shaped booty, and to get more in my hips. But everybody's like, now, like I just feel like I would. I mean, it's not, I'm happy with my body either way now, but like, yeah, I want a round 2, but I don't think I'm gonna end up getting it. If anything, I'm gonna get my boobs done, but I kind of don't want my boobs done because I don't want anything foreign in here. A fat transfer is your fat, and then getting your boobs done is like silicone in your body. And boobs aren't even expensive. Like I was this close to getting it from Mia, but my doctor booked up, so. And he's not in Miami anymore. He's in Texas. He comes to Miami sometimes, but yeah, no. I'm trying to think. Yeah. So if you guys have any other questions for me, you can follow me on Instagram at itslasharab. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Anybody in my DMs knows this. Like, I'm very nice in my DMs and all that. As far as asking surgery questions, I don't mind. Yeah, so I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.